Alright. What's up, Midwest Speed Fest? My name is KinkyCadence. I'm going to be playing Psychonauts 2. If my commentators want to introduce themselves.
I am It's Bites. Hello and welcome. Time you there?
Uh-oh. Times Mike's mic might have broken again. So, we'll see if he comes back later. But for now, we'll go ahead and get started. In 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So, Psychonauts 2, it's a follow-up to the first game that came out back in 2005. I think everyone's been waiting for a sequel for a long time.
Straight to his boss.
And finally came out a few months ago.
We'll try to head him off.
Be careful, darling.
The story is relatively just a straight-up follow-up to the first game. There's a little bit of time in between that was covered by a VR game back in 2016, I think.
Yeah.
But this game actually does take place, I think it's like 3 days after the end of the first game.
We heard you. We heard you, Time.
Oh, perfect. So, coming up here, I'm going to quit to the menu and then load back in. That skips a little bit of dialogue that happens before I'm able to start punching. And saves, maybe 5 seconds.
Are you following me?
We time without loads, so despite the loading screen, it actually still saves time.
Yep. I think it might even still save time with loads on like a decent piece. It's like a 15-second dialogue.
Come and get me.
It's that long? I actually never realized that.
Yeah, it's a decent thing. Here I'm going to be running off of the edge of these pairs because it gives me a little bit of a speed boost when I'm running forward. Because right now, running is really the only form of movement I have.
And we'll be unlocking abilities very soon. This is just the tutorial level, of course. Gotta relearn everything one by one. How to punch, how to jump, you know?
Yep. This little cutscene here teaches us how to roll. And so that's how we're going to move for a little bit.
Some pretty important movement.
Now we
you
have
can't sleep on
telekinesis.
Lots of figments of Robato's imagination.
Now we have the ability to use telekinesis.
Yep.
Which is, well, the 4 abilities we're going to get in this level are all pretty useful in their own ways. Which we'll see.
Yep. Telekinesis is probably kind of ended up being one of the most important abilities you get in the run. But we'll get to that later. The first thing that it's really good for is combat. It is very, very strong in combat. It does a lot of damage.
Looks like some sort of
So,
conference room in here.
you'll notice that most of my movement right now is done with rolling.
I'm coming.
But coming up here, we
Please, let's get clear.
unlock our next form of movement, which is Psy hopping. You want to explain that, Bites?
Yeah, with Psy hopping, after you unlock the Psy Blast, there's a little animation that Praz goes into. This also works with telekinesis as well. But during that animation, you can interrupt it with a dodge roll. And with that dodge roll momentum, you can jump in the middle of all of that. And basically just pushes you forward in the air, giving you full momentum from that dodge. And just carries it over to that jump. So this is like one of the main few movement techs we use in this game. You're going to see it a lot. It sometimes varies in different speeds, depending on timing, and also on these small ledges it's very hard to get a decent side hop.
It depends on your the angle you're side hopping off of too. It's usually easier to side hop up slope and harder to do it down slope.
Yeah. And with these combats, I'm just fighting through all these sensors and doubts, Fastest way is just punching them and side blasting. Just to get their health as low as possible, as fast as possible.
Pop up.
Oh.
And we use this weight from the regret. Does a lot of damage to all the enemies.
Hey, Raz. Duck 'em off.
Yeah,
Each enemy is really weak to each other.
Okay, so here we get the levitation ability, and we're not gonna, well,
Yes. Wait, help Loboto.
We don't play the level.
we don't really need it.
Oh,
So this is
little
prop
awkward.
flying. It's one of the most recent.
Shoot.
Oh,
That was
no.
awkward. Oh, I don't have a prop.
There's one on the other side, I think. Oh no, there isn't. Oh well. Well,
That's
you'll
fine.
see it a lot more later.
Yeah. That is an unfortunate thing that can happen where when you throw the prop, Raz can kind of hit it. Like
Yeah, there's
in
still
midair.
collision with the props. So it's very hard to control it.
So how this works is
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
when you hold Side Blast out, you aren't actually allowed to walk off of objects or ledges or anything. That includes the objects that you can pick up with telekinesis. So if you hold Side Blast and start walking off an object, and then you use telekinesis to pick up the object, there's a little void skip there. But if you do that, the object will try and fly to the right side above Raz. But since you're moving with the object, you're stuck to the object, you just start flying into the air. You can basically skip lots of the game this way.
Lily? I put the egg.
So yeah, we just skipped
It's
that entire
robotic.
last section.
Yeah.
How do y'all feel about some donations right now?
Yeah, we've got some time here.
All right, I got a $20 donation here from a tea tree who says, "This is not the greatest donation comment in the world, no. This is just a tribute." Thank you so much, tea tree, for your generosity. We also have a $35 donation from Helix who says, "Midwest BFest staff here. This is our Twitch revenue received during this event, plus a couple extra from me to round it up. A huge thank you to everyone who contributed, and of course, another thank you to all my fellow staff and volunteers. Let's make one final push to get this last incentive met and unlock that Rudolph run." And Helix is, of course, talking about the fact that we are looking for a total of $2,200 to unlock that. We are sitting at $2,055, so we just need a little less than $150. And I also want to talk to y'all about that Jack Black song incentive. With those two donations, we are only $9 away from unlocking the Jack Black song incentive. If you want to talk a little bit more about that incentive, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so there's a cutscene in one of the levels in this game where Jack Black has a song in this game. He's good friends with Tim Schafer. They worked on Brutal Legends together before, so he came back and he has a song in one of the levels. It's about 45 minutes in, and I would love to watch that cutscene. So
I would also love to watch that cutscene.
We need more Jack Black. Please
Everybody needs
get
more
this
Jack Black.
incentive.
Be honest.
Exactly, yeah. So
So
here
now we've been
we-
assigned.
Mr. Johnson.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we've been assigned by our boss to go
Everything okay in here?
do the mail with Nick John Smith. He's not here right now, but we need to throw 11 packages into this mailbox. We don't need that. They've got. We could sort it, but we don't actually need to. It doesn't actually matter. So just need to throw 11 in.
Yeah, we don't even need to throw them, and we can just shoot them. It's amazing
Heck did Truman
what
order
this mail can do.
Yeah, it's very tough mail.
Especially this one. It's a lot heavier.
Yep.
I know the secrets, like, this indestructible mail, because my packages keep arriving.
Oh, good.
We won't talk about it.
Finally
It's just,
here.
it's not good.
When does
Yeah, it's rough times.
No.
Oh,
FedEx, UPS,
Rough
please.
times in the mail system.
Ready, kid?
Yeah.
Invest in some Psychonauts mail.
Alright, so now we're in class, and we've got a new ability called Mental Connection. it's a pretty fast way of moving around. It is limited in terms of like how you can use it to the areas that have those mental connection bubbles, but when they're available, it is one of the fastest ways of getting around.
And we shot that door from a distance, just kept having to move all the way over there. We triggered testing immediately.
And here in this fight, the way I move my camera is like very intentional. To try and force spawns all in the same place.
Oh my god, look at the size of that kid's head!
Because the way the spawns work in this game is based on your camera position. So by controlling where I'm putting my camera, I can put all three of those enemies right on top of each other and kill them very quickly.
I heard the technique you used was developed by your intern, Hollis Forsyth.
Just unskippable side-scroller, even though there are some triggers that you need to get all these dialogues out.
You do want to move through the triggers as fast as possible, but there's a lot of downtime here.
Yeah.
I was noticing how often they mention cilantro in this game. Did not hit me the first time, but watching the speedrun now, what's the deal with the cilantro?
There's weird connections with how cilantro is related to the
Yeah.
Well, as far as I think cilantro tastes like soap, and I disagree.
Cilantro does taste like soap.
I have not had the soap cilantro experience.
In fact, I was thinking of getting rid of her.
I need to try it. I've actually never had cilantro.
You've never had cilantro?
Not by itself. Like, it was like... I don't know.
I mean, I figure if it tasted like soap, it would really stand out. You know what I mean? If it's just like, oh, this is lovely, except for the soap.
The soapy texture.
How did I end up stressing about
And
money management all
there
day?
we've got our first one of our first collectibles of the game is the half a mind.
On the children. Their
And
safety is the most important thing.
every 2 of those
And
that you
it's
could
not just
collect
because a lawsuit would bankrupt us
gives
right
you
now.
another brain worth
That
of health.
casino mission would be good experience for them. But it's
Instead of
what if I let them
heart-based
go and the worst happens?
kind of system of health, we get brains.
Yep.
Need to focus.
I'll be ending the run with 5 brains of health. I know Bites prefers doing 4 brains.
I run a little on the dangerous side. A little
That,
wild.
it would open her up to so many more missions.
But we're also going to be
Life
picking up
experiences.
these little golden items called Nuggets of Wisdom, which give you an extra level for upgrades. So we do upgrade abilities in this one.
A few, yeah. Oh, I just got the second one there.
There's a really important upgrade that we're gonna get in the next level.
Yep.
Teacup, this is Shoehole.
But first we have to get
For
into
now,
the
we
level.
gotta do a little low-level espionage right now.
Can't go into the hotel.
Gotta be super sneaky here. You don't want to get caught. And done. Super sneaky.
So that showed off a little bit of movement tech that we have, which is just getting, like, hovering and then pulling the ball down, which gives you a little bit of extra distance on travel. Oops.
It also gives you a little bit of extra height too, at least for grabbing ledges. That's like a little thing. It's useful in a lot of different places.
This fight is very fast if you can get these bad ideas, which are the little dog creatures with the light bulbs. I don't know how else to really explain what they are.
Yeah.
But they have exploding bad ideas, and throwing those at the huge sensors does a big chunk of their health.
Yeah.
That was a very decent fight, actually.
Yeah, that was pretty solid. Combat in this game is, I think, pretty interesting. I think it's a big improvement over the first game, for sure. But it's very challenging in a lot of places. Like, doing combat fast is not easy.
I'm so
And so being good at combat is actually a pretty important thing for a speedrun.
Yeah, and we approach pretty much every enemy slightly differently, so you have to know a lot of different patterns.
Yeah.
salvageable, but the rest...
Yeah, especially
Should we fall?
kind of in the later half of the game. There's a lot of very challenging combat.
I'll just quickly pop in.
Because we do the combat a little bit underpowered from what the game is expecting versus like a casual player. And we have to kind of abuse game mechanics to be able to deal with that.
Hi, can I play?
Okay, now we're in front of the pharmacy, and we're gonna go do the Palinko board. Thank you, Double Fine. And this introduces a new mechanic where if we have the, you see we have the Psy-Hop held right now, that actually makes the Palinko ball go faster.
Any luck? Wouldn't the wisest choice be?
Yeah,
Called that speedballing.
Actually, I think it's important to know when to
Very
quit,
cleverly named.
especially when
Yeah, it
the
was
brain sounds like
actually
you've got
originally
that doesn't
found
sound like a smart way to make
later in the
decisions
game,
to me.
in one of the last levels, but we found out it applies to any time that you're like riding one of those big objects.
Moderation.
Yeah, that was just a little teaser. We're gonna see a lot more of it later.
All right, I got a quick question for y'all. How much time would you say our viewers have to get raise that $9, get that $9 donation in to unlock Jack Black's song?
Probably 20 to 25 minutes if I had to guess.
Oh my god.
I'd say 30 minutes.
Something around there, yeah.
All right, well we'll take the middle ground. 25 minutes to raise only $9, and then we'll get to see an amazing cutscene. So if you feel that you are able to donate, please do get your donation in to the Children's Cancer Research Fund, and please do click on that incentive. I really want to watch that cutscene.
So we grabbed the last negative wisdom there, and then we unlocked the Bouncy Ball upgrade. Oh.
I accidentally hit my Windows key there. That's a thing that can happen,
So-
unfortunately.
Haven't hit the gazelle. This system is rigged.
So the Bouncy Ball upgrade is like a charge jump. It lets us, if you hold it on the ground, you can jump higher. We're gonna use that for a little bit, but the main reason we got it is because if you do it in the air, it gives you a lot more speed on the levitation ball. We call this surfing because Raz takes a very cool pose when he's doing it. But it's very fast. It's comparable. I think as long as you're doing it for a long enough distance, it's faster than Psy hopping.
Yep.
So you'll see it a lot in this run.
Windows key is very sensitive. I need to change my keybinds. So most of the time we actually play on controller, but there is a strat that we use that is we'll be switching controls to the keyboard called lev hopping. What that is by by pressing the dodge button and then pressing the jump button and the levitation button at the exact same time, you gain a lot of speed. And also lets you maintain your double jump even though you're jumping on the lev ball, which is interesting, but not used as often anymore. So the way we do that is by binding levitation and jump to the same button on the keyboard. That way we can still have them separate on the controller.
Okay, that's the last.
So occasionally I will move one of my hands to the keyboard to do that. But unfortunately my keybinds are very close to the Windows key, so I've been accidentally hitting that occasionally.
Little auto scroller here, so if there are donations.
We used to do a lot of the skips in this game relied on lev hops, but now that we can fly, there's definitely less of that.
Yep. Now we've got a boss coming up here. Wait, no. Wait.
It's the middle door.
Yeah, I'm not paying very much attention. And now I need to find out where I am.
There it is.
There we go. Now we've got a boss coming up. Sorry about that. It is I am not the best at playing and commentating at the same time, so
that's definitely understandable.
Hit me.
So this is interesting. Yeah. You want to explain that, Tom?
We're supposed to use TK to throw the bombs that she shoots out bombs during her fight, and we're supposed to throw those into the hole that we reveal. But if you get behind the tentacles, like you see we're doing here, she just throws the bombs into her own hole. So she
a lot of energy.
does the bombs for us.
A bomb. Well, cheer up.
It's kind of a why you hitting yourself moment. Where she's just spitting her own bombs at herself.
Oh, that's so convenient.
That's like the main gimmick of this this boss. It's also really rough because of this boss being cycles almost, where you can kind of do it for all three if you're very lucky. Otherwise, this last phase will either be a throw or she can just do herself.
Yeah, this one, you can see her tentacle switches from one side to the other, and she does it pretty frequently on this last phase.
This is really close to being on the good cycle, but I'm not confident in it.
Either jump over or not. Oh,
no.
Oh, just barely. No.
All right, that's fine.
It's hard to determine that, but I'd commend you for.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
All right. Well, we have to wait for her to shoot out bombs again.
When it comes
That's
to
unfortunate.
bombs, I like to go all in.
Luckily, she just shoots out bombs right away after trying it once.
It's to the theme of this entire level. You just want to go all in, you know?
Yep. It was so close. It was maybe a second off of the cycle.
Why?
Okay, and that was Hollis's hot streak.
Now we've got a fun skip coming up. This is the casino out of bounds.
There doesn't seem to be any
So there's an entire...
Yeah, go for it. There's this entire sequence of gameplay here where these are other interns that you have with you, and that join you in this game.
Interesting.
Recovery. So you're supposed to go around this entire section and they do their deal, but the end is like right down there to the right, all the way down there. What we just did is we got all the way up to the top, and then we're gonna get some speed.
And now we just
and then we're gonna use some, we're gonna use some lever presses to get past some. I'm not really sure what they are, but your momentum kind of stops in the air. Yeah, that's the end of the sequence.
Oh, no.
It saves like.
And this is the power of whale.
Power of whale. Saves like a minute and a half, I think, or something like that.
It's like 40 seconds, big chunk, 30 seconds, something around there.
Yeah. 30 seconds, around there. It seems a good amount.
Yeah, definitely.
Necromancy.
There was a cool platforming you could do to do that skip before, but now we just fly up.
How do y'all feel about some donations right now?
Yeah, this is a good time.
We got lots.
All right, well, some wonderful things have happened here. We had an anonymous donation of $5. Thank you so much for your generosity, Anonymous. We had a donation of $15 from Queen Snopey, who says, we gotta listen to this song. Good luck with the run, KC. And we had one more donation of $10 from Bato, who says, for charity, and Jack Black. And y'all absolutely did it. We will be watching the cutscene with the song by Jack Black. We absolutely met that incentive. Thank y'all so much.
Absolutely. I am excited about that.
And just a little reminder that we are working on one final incentive. We're looking for a total of $2,200 raised to unlock the final game of the marathon. If we hit $2,200, we will be watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
That's incredible.
I can't tell you how badly I want to watch this game. It's for the DS, I believe. So, yeah, please do keep those donations coming. We need, let me see, we need $115 in order to unlock Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in the Rudolph book category. So keep them rolling in for the Children's Cancer Research Fund, y'all. It's all for a good cause.
So here we upgrade pyrokinesis. It makes our pyrokinesis bubble expand larger and more faster, and that's pretty much just useful for this. But
it's got some fringe uses later in the game, but mostly it saves about 3 or 4 seconds on this one level.
That's right.
Like a little.
If you have the fully upgraded pyrokinesis, by the way, you can hit them all at the same time. It's super fast.
Lucretia.
It's a little hundo strat for you.
Huh. Wonder why she's not.
Sounds like a good strat.
Psychic 6. I mean,
Here we've got a little bit of an unskippable cutscene.
Still, she must have been important, or Ford wouldn't have carved.
We gotta learn the lore of the game. We can't just skip everything.
We need to find out Lucretia Mux is the 7th member of the Psychic 6. Or is that the Psychic 7? It's very important.
I've got a very important canoe ride too.
Exactly. This one is actually a little bit interesting because it's slow. This is the only boat in the game that doesn't have a way to slow it up or speed it up. Every other boat in the game, if you hold B while you're on the boat, you go faster. Not this
Taking
one.
a slow boat to the moon, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, I got a question for y'all while we're watching this unskippable cutscene. What is up with Double Fine and Teeth? That is my question.
That is an interesting question, and I wish I had an answer.
I don't think we have the answer for that.
Like anybody has the answer, but like the previous game, this game, it just keeps happening.
Yeah, mainly because the main villain, the first one, was a dentist, I would say. And because we were in the mind of a dentist, and we got lots of teeth, that's all he's thinking about.
So many teeth.
One more to find before I can go back to Truman.
Now we need to find Ford in 3 different places in this level because he uses teleportation to be in a bunch of different places, and his mind is broken.
That's the final Ford. Time to
So we need to put his mind back together.
I'm gonna need his help.
Now, right there was Nick John Smith. We didn't mention was in the package we carried out earlier in the game.
He lost his brain.
Well.
So through the course of the story, we're going to have to find a brain for him temporarily.
Scanning for fingerprint.
Yeah, we've been skipping up on a lot of the lore here.
Yeah. We're going past it real quickly.
I do love how we have a lot of like brainless bodies and bodies without brains. You know, everything's fine. While Nick John Smith doesn't have a brain, doesn't he like want to watch cable or something? I forget.
Yep, he just watches TV. That's the huge thing in Psychonauts. TV, everybody. That's all we want to watch. Like, I remember in the first one, they have like the cowboy. That's all they're watching from the TV.
Here's Compton Pool. He doesn't really want to leave his psycho isolation chamber right now, so we have to find some bees for him.
Please let me.
We need to borrow his senior league membership card. And
for bowling.
Earlier, you saw me pick up this chair here. This chair is a little bit annoying, but
Just gonna fly with it. Take it on a trip. It's never been before.
Careful! I know what you
Worked on you.
Not for little kids.
Fortunately, did not get all the way to the end, but still made it most
did its
of the
job.
way, so.
You know, chairs do some wild things in this game.
Yep.
You always thought you can just sit on a chair. In this game, you can just fly with it.
Exactly.
Forest is somewhere here.
And now we need to get some bees for Compton Boole. So we're going to the Forest of Forgetfulness to go and get some bees.
Man, I'm getting a strong psychic sense that Lizzie and Norma are sisters. Sibling detection is one of looks like a great.
Luckily, we got this huge beehive in the middle of it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it was protected by the Green Needle Witch. We had to get out of there real quickly.
Check on Nona, jerk. Every day with her could be a
Yeah, we'll never know who it is.
Yep.
If there's one thing the Aquatos know how to do, it's making themselves at home.
And we
So the game forces us.
Go ahead.
Yep. So the game forces us to talk to our family who's here in this in the questionable area here. Okay, I'll explain the first thing first. So if we try and leave using the fast travel, then it'll just teleport us to that cutscene because it really wants us to watch that. But what we did just there, so there's a side quest where if we help our brother Dion, we get the ability to dive in the air, which is a super useful ability. But we have to watch a cutscene. If we side blasted the top target on the top there, which triggers the cutscene to get it. But we would have to watch the cutscene and then walk all the way back. What we do is we start the cutscene and trigger the fast travel at the same time, and so we can fast travel during the cutscene and get dive. And here's Compton's cook-off.
So here we need to make a few different recipes. The first one is really simple. It's just eggs and potatoes, or eggs and onions, not potatoes.
Looks like a potato.
It does a little bit. So we
especially when it's chopped like that.
We chop up the onion. We're boiling the egg, and while we're waiting, we have some free time. So I'm gonna go grab this golden nugget. Didn't really need to do that, but I have a lot of free time. So. We need to get that. That actually did lose time, but.
I love that you can chuck the ingredient all the way across.
Oh yeah. No.
That's actually something they intended as well.
Yep.
Which is really interesting. Like they thought that people would be that curious to just throw everything across the map. It's amazing. Very useful for the speedrun.
And
so you need aim to be able to do that, something that I was unable to do.
And then, just for fun, we do have to get up to that boiler three different times. And so I like to go up to that boiler in 3 different ways, and none of them the intended way. Just as a way to kind of pass the time.
First phase fight, get some sensors here. Kind of advertising a box of cereal.
Ah, shoot.
Don't know what it is, but you know, it's commercial breaks for this cook-off here. Because we have the Bouncy Ball upgrade, that also means we have the Wrecking Ball upgrade, which is the previous one to it. And we can just push those judges off the map and skip those fights just a little bit. Makes it a lot faster of a process.
About 20 seconds or so versus actually fighting them. And I missed that throw a little bit. I was just a touch low. So.
Yeah, aim is very important here.
Yeah.
It happens.
Okay, he's placed the ingredient. Will he be able to pull back the pork chopper's action hoof?
Now this is very similar to the first recipe, but we also have to blend the strawberries, and we need to fry the bread. And here, this is actually where I'm going to get the second half of mine in the game. Right here, just because there's a lot of free time here, so the only time it loses is the time that cutscene takes.
I think that we had the first half of mind in Forsyth's mind.
Yep.
And 100% we spend all of our free time getting as much as possible, so we actually get those later. Funny thing.
Yeah,
But
time is actually
100%
one of the two people that are really doing a lot of routing for 100%.
This mind in 100% is actually really fun. Like a race against the clock as you try and get everything you need before the ingredients mix. It's a little more casual in any percent.
Yeah, in any percent you have a lot of free time in general.
Because there's a specific method of actually throwing these ingredients into their spots, because the blender takes a lot longer than anything else. So if you miss anything else,
not ideal.
Blender is
there we go. Yeah, getting the push off on that judge is very, very awkward sometimes, and I grabbed the wrong thing. I don't know if that ended. No.
Oh, I thought you did. That would have been a 6 snipe.
It was close. If the pan was in the center, I would have hit it there, but it was still left. So.
Get out of there, kids.
So we want to throw the egg in as fast as possible, just to get it cooking early, because that gives it a chance that it'll just cook on its own without us doing anything, which is ideal.
Looks like the egg wasn't in your favor here, so we're gonna have to.
Yeah, we'll probably have to
start it.
Yeah,
because the rough thing is when you're a certain distance away from the egg, it'll just restart everything, and that's not what we want. And
yeah, you just have to kind of get lucky on the egg, otherwise there's not much you can do. But it's not a huge deal. It generally only loses a couple of seconds, just because you have to wait on the watermelon either way.
Also, funny fact about that egg, when you put the egg on that frying pan, it's not supposed to be already fried. So in this patch of the game, the egg is fried twice. It's very weird to kind of think about.
Twice fried eggs.
So the model isn't supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be like a droopy egg, but in this case, you're just gonna put a fried egg in the fryer and fry it some more.
That is fixed on the newer versions of the game, but I haven't updated it.
There's specific tricks within the previous patches that are currently patched in recent builds for the game.
Yeah, unfortunately the newest build kind of slowed down the dialogue a little bit.
This is the judge fight, so if trigger warning, you hate vomit, step away.
Yeah, if you have a problem with vomit, now is definitely a good time to look away, because it's going to be a few minutes of a lot of vomit.
So this boss is pretty much on all full except for one thing. We can, if we fall off when people are doing their attack, so if you fall off when the judge is doing their attack, then they'll just skip their attack. And we use that all throughout the fight to speed it up.
Yep. So
the only thing to watch out for.
Animations.
Yeah, if you happen to fall off and skip this attack where he's sending out the ingredients, you miss the ingredients and you have to do an entire another cycle. Yep.
Thankfully, on these first few phases, they give you 3 of the same ingredients. So if you pick up one, you'll be guaranteed at least like better chance of getting the correct ingredient.
Where did it go? Oh, it just killed itself. Okay. Yeah, they're one of the regrets, I think.
The doubts.
No, it was one of the regrets. Flew off the edge and
oh.
Fell. So I was looking for it because I was.
Wait, did it actually?
Yeah. It just like flew down into the death plane for some reason. Which I haven't seen before. So there's that that's never happened before moment.
Excellent. I can't bring home the big to see that. I'm going to close my eyes.
Why am I not skipping this? I don't know why I'm not skipping that.
Sometimes it's barely faster to skip, but usually we just do it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I just kind of wasn't paying enough attention. So.
Please tell me this batch has the ingredients we need.
It seems like the sous chef has picked up the wrong ingredient. That's not wrong.
This is completely random, by the way, if he gets the ingredient that he needs. Oh, he just... Thankfully, he gets it on the last ingredient, but it's entirely possible that that could not have been a pig there, and he just would have had to go through an entire another cycle.
Yeah, that happened. It's very rare to happen on the second recipe.
Yeah, second recipe usually doesn't have that kind of issue.
Yeah, but the third recipe...
I guess that was just a really bad rule.
Yeah, the third recipe is just pure RNG. At most, there will be one of the right ingredient in any spawn, and it's not... won't always be one.
Yeah. Now this is the phase that matters the most here.
Yeah, so these last three ingredients can be very punishing. I know I've lost quite a few different runs to this boss because he just decides to not give me the ingredient that I need.
One of those. I need to. Oh no, he's got the wrong ingredient.
All onions. All onions and one honey.
At least it gave me the ingredient. Can't complain too much.
Yeah. You can lose up to like almost a minute if you like last pick the correct ingredient.
Yep.
Which is very rough with the run. But at least one, or at most one, being the correct ingredient.
Yep.
Like this.
Oh my god.
Yep, so that
This
one did not have the right ingredient. But...
More ingredients. It seems like the sous chef is
RNG in the game.
attacking the judge.
Surely this won't happen twice.
Yeah, the game in general is actually pretty low on RNG. It's really just this fight. In terms of like significant RNG.
So if there's any fight we could skip, it's this one.
Oh yeah, we would love to skip this fight. Come on. Okay. Take it.
I don't want to chase it, but I feel like this one will be my best one yet.
So just use the same wrecking ball ability to knock the two enemies off?
Yep. And that's the end of the fight just now. So. Anyone that looked away because of vomit, now is the time to come back.
With this senior league pass, I can get to Agent Crawler in the bowling alley and try to reconnect.
And now we're gonna go and visit Otto's lab because he has, dude, I don't remember the name of the thing, like the brain tank or brain neurama or something like that. That has a bunch of brain stores, and we need one of them.
He has the title screen.
Yep. We need one of these brains in order to put in Nick's body. because Nick is a senior employee, and we need a senior employee to be able to get into the mailroom. Now we've got a brain.
Now we got Heptadome Harry.
Yep.
The brain. Don't know who it is.
But first, we are going to go to the barber shop and talk to the Ford there. And this is a level that has seen a lot of iteration. But now it is very fast.
How y'all feel about a donation right now?
Perfect time. Well,
all right. Well, Muhammad X sent in $115 and said, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. And if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. In fact, we met that requirement we needed to unlock that bonus game. We will be watching that speedrun of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for DS. Thank you so much for your generosity, Muhammad X, who actually sent in one more donation for $22 and said, let's even that out, pun intended, which puts our total at $2,222 raised for the Children's Cancer Research Fund.
That's awesome. I'm glad we get to see that game.
Yeah, I'm extremely hype. Yes.
Also, donation number being 2222. Also hype. Love to see that.
2222. Okay,
and
like,
now
fun
someone
fact,
needs to donate again so that they can ruin it.
Fun fact, in Hawaiian, tutu is like grandma, like auntie or grandma or whatever. In fact, there is like a series of advertisements for the cab where because the phone number is like 222222222. So we got grandma donations. Thanks, y'all.
One piece of wood's gonna be there. Now for the other two. I hope I'm doing the right thing. Agent Zanotto is right.
So Follow Close is a level that has changed a lot, and now is very, very fast. You go in roughly a straight line through the entire level.
Believe it or not, even if you don't have prop flying, you can get through that level pretty quick.
Yeah, it's still basically a straight line through the entire level. It's just a little bit slower. But now we have Strike City, and so we get a lot more of that speedballing. So we're going to be holding Eye Blast for most of this level. The one downside is that you can't jump while you're holding Eye Blast. So.
Hey, you down by that ball polisher! A little help!
Wrecking ball is. Sorry, the bowling ball is. It's clear that they tried very hard to make it work, but it is a little bit broken. Specifically, when you watch certain cutscenes on top of the wrecking ball, the bowling ball, it changes physics slightly, and sometimes it can change physics drastically.
Yep. So we're gonna be doing that here, hopefully, as long as I hit it. Yep, that should work.
That's it. And we got low gravity ball. So they somehow thought that they patched this.
Yep, so now we go straight into the trigger for the end cutscene.
Did you miss seeing teeth? Well, don't you worry.
We get more teeth.
Yep.
So we were supposed to go through a whole tunnel of that section. It was quite sweet, but we just went in the back.
Yep. The only reason we're not able to do that straight from the start is there is a required trigger to watch the get the cutscene where the bridge falls down.
Nick.
So we have to do that once, and then we can go straight to the end.
Yeah, the quest journal really stops us from going fast in that level in particular. And here we're just gonna walk into a panic attack. He just dies.
Yeah, we light ourselves on fire and then walk into a panic attack, and it makes the panic attack go away. Shh.
I need this trick in real life.
Do not do this at home.
I love the enemies in this game. See, you have to fight a panic attack. It's so good.
Yep. And now this level is a fantastic level.
An old friend then?
It's so good casually. It's so good in the speedrun. There's a lot of different routes that we used to take to go through here, and all of them were a lot of fun.
I'm starting to remember that they're lacking more.
flying makes it very broken.
Rode on it, so I guess it's a bus.
There are not that many required triggers in this level.
Besides the one we're coming up to here.
What?
Oh, that trash can just went away.
Yeah, that trash can just disappeared.
It's just gone. We got a new one, it's fine.
That's interesting.
Friendship ended with trash can number 1. This is my new best friend.
It's all so beautiful.
So yeah, we do have to fight this panic attack specifically. This one is required.
If we don't, we off-block. We could go pretty far, but we'd end up not being able to finish the level.
Yeah.
Alright.
Here we got mushroom. You know, the trash can broke. Now we got mushrooms. Oh, never mind, it's gone.
Oh, that was
we got to the violin.
Not much time to appreciate the incredible aesthetic of that level.
Oh, this level is beautiful.
If you pick up a mushroom with telekinesis, and then you drop it, and then you hit it in the air, it just freezes in place.
Yep, that. Oh, shoot.
Let me know if you find your instrument.
I pressed the wrong button, and so we have to listen to all this dialogue.
I don't know why, but I got the impression
could
it was going to be more
exit to menu, skip this, and come back, but it's too late now.
You guys let me take
I can talk about the charity a little bit.
Yeah,
Did you get it? You got it. Alright. I can still talk about the charity a little bit.
Just 1 second, because we got one more little.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
There it is.
Yep, and there are no required triggers in that area, so. But now we got a little bit of time.
Let's go somewhere else.
Everybody, back in the van.
Alright, just a little reminder to everybody that Midwest Minifest is raising money for the Children's Cancer Research Fund. To donate, go to donate.midwestspeedfest.com or type !donate in chat and follow the link. And additionally, the Children's Cancer Research Fund is a 501c3 nonprofit charity, meaning if you live in the United States, your donations may be tax deductible. And furthermore, your employer may match your donation. So to learn more about Children's Cancer Research Fund, go to childrenscancer.org.
Perfect timing. And here's the last shrine section of this level. Which, mushrooms are still our friend, so.
Yep. You know, the original strat to this level
also
was
used
named
mushrooms.
One mushroom yum yum.
And here is the
an
cutscene that
incredible
everyone
strat
paid
name.
for.
Oh yeah.
So now we'll be quiet and listen to some great music.
Yes, enjoy.
Jack Black, everybody.
Neither skin nor bone. Just a thought is all I've got. Now my cover's low. At the bottom of a lake of frozen feeling. When my friends pulled me back up, I started molecule through my cosmic eye. Senses are the magic keys. They fill the holes I've had. Unlocking all my memories, which I never
Wanna bet,
Helma?
Uh-oh.
We want to keep watching this cutscene. It's a little bit longer before it gets to the next cutscene.
Oh,
Or I can skip it now since the music's done.
I know her from Lobato's nightmare.
I know her from my nightmares.
I mean, I think it's definitely your call.
The
I
song
love that
stopped.
line. Unlocking all my memories, which are never ever bad.
Yep.
The ones who abandoned abandoned him in the ice for 20 years.
The Psych King, the lore. His helmet full bear, where everyone thought he was gone.
This one's just about done anyways here. So.
Yeah.
Turns out this random brain in the tube was one of the Psychic 6.
Yep.
Or
Just
Psychic
happened to
7.
be. We just happened to find the brain of one of the Psychic 6.
And it happened to be the only good one in the cave.
And her name was...
To time bubble this last little silhouette. It's really funny.
My body's been in hyper-ice all this time. Memories, my The audience loved it. Do it again. One last curtain call and the show's over.
Jack Black telling you the audience loved it. Do it again.
Here we can go back to the calls.
That was Psy King Sensorium.
Yep, and now we can get into the mailroom.
Excuse me. Would you mind
So this is the last of Ford Crowler's mines that we need to fix. And this is another one that has seen a ton of iteration because it has very few required triggers, and so it's just about getting to those few required triggers as fast as possible.
And where did I put that?
Oh, I want to see this level get broken.
Oh yeah.
So you can just surf over here. We're like already like 3/4 of the way
halfway through.
It's so brutal casually. It's such a brutal level casually.
Here we use this spring, which is like the only object we can stand on, and also prop fly. And we're just
Also,
gonna
yes,
head over
that
to the dead letters.
absolutely was Jack Black.
Yep, that was Jack Black. Yeah, he's friends with Tim Schafer, so he decided to play a part in this game, and they made a song.
I mean, after Brutal Legend. Oh my gosh.
So this is already basically the end of the level. We just have to put all the letters into the typewriter. This is the last letter up the last key up here.
I don't think I have all the design.
So I mean, these Ford color levels are generally pretty short, but we make them really short in this run.
Yeah.
I think I know who Ford would like to address this letter to.
That's a possibility.
And fun fact with this typewriter, we also can just write Lucretia instead of just Lucy.
Really?
It's an acceptable term.
What happens if you put in the wrong thing?
Not much.
If you put in a swear word, it stops you. Like,
Yeah, it'll put like symbols and like censor it for you. It's really funny, actually.
Okay, now we're gonna see exactly how fast surfing is compared to a regular movement. This comb is supposed to stay really close behind us the whole way. We just leave it in the dust.
Yeah. And this is one of the newer tricks. It's still been a month and a half or so since we found it, but we don't like this slow fall. It's bad. We don't want to fall slowly. We need to get to the bottom as fast as possible, and so we stop in this room.
A little bit of out of bounds.
Yep. Kind of just walk through that wall real quick. And then
it's only big enough for Yep. And then we're just gonna fall.
Yeah, close to the. And that's the entire fall. That saves about 10 seconds.
Yep.
Oh my
and
gosh.
just falling.
With Maligula.
I put her in the astral plane.
And now we're kind of into the... Like, I like to divide the game into early game, mid game, and end game. Now, that, for me, is the end of the mid game. So we're getting pretty deep into the run now.
Yeah, we've got 4 more mines to do, more or less. Maybe like 4.5.
I hope I didn't lose him in
I'd say
the wood.
4.5.
Yeah. So this is the Green Needle Gulch. It's where the Psychonauts were originally formed. You got some pretty fun movement to get through here.
Yeah, all these broken bridges. Oh.
Overshot my jump a little bit, but that's alright.
This platform is a little technical.
Okay.
Nope, I'll just...
I'm gonna use the noodle pillow.
Yep,
Everyone loves this noodle pillow. For some reason, you can prop fly with... Oh, no.
It is super awkward to prop fly on this one. Gosh.
Yeah, it's very rough. For how
Unfortunately,
it has a lot of joints on it, and that makes it very weird.
It's
we got the job done.
Option.
Yep.
Oh, goodbye, noodle pillow.
It's going for a swim.
I'm glad it gets shown in the run anyway.
Yeah.
So this is Bob's Bottles. We actually had two choices of mines to go to. We could have gone to the other one, which is Cassie's Collection. But if we go to Cassie's Collection, then there's an enemy we unlock there that would appear in this level, called the Enablers. And we don't like Enablers. It would make it very slow for us to get through this level. So we
I was waiting for y'all to mention that enemy name too. It's so good. Nobody likes an enabler.
Yeah, the main feature of this mine are portals. Some of these are somewhat busted, but not very useful to the run. It's just something that we found along the way.
And I just set up a glitch there, but I won't be using it for a while. Instead, I'm going to be doing this. Hopefully. Okay, good. I didn't hit the invisible wall.
Take a throw.
Yeah, let's get.
You just fly through the entire level.
So we'll go more into what that glitch that I set up when we get to it.
Are you heading out to the greenhouse?
It's in the... Well, we'll see it in the second bottle.
Yeah. So it's important to watch those first few cutscenes, because this bad mood would not be here without talking to the Bob Brute, I guess. Is what he is. I don't know what he actually is.
So this bad mood is, we don't like bad moods. Bad moods are
we just have
not nice. We have to just stand here
and just have a staring contest until he decides to give us the okay to use clairvoyance. It's very rough standing next to a bad mood where he just doesn't want to do anything but attack you.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's also in real life.
Yep.
So you can also mash, you can mash the dodge button in when you're on the boat to go faster.
Yep.
I don't know if you mentioned that.
Yeah, there's nothing in Psychonauts 2 that actually tells you that. Like, at no point does it tell you that you can press the B button to go faster on boats. You have to remember it from Psychonauts 1. But yes, this is the glitch that I set up. Right so we are immune to water and also to void zones until we go to a load screen. It also messes up some rendering in this level.
It's called water immunity.
Portals. Okay.
It's unfortunately it's patched in the most recent patches, but it doesn't actually, because of profiling, it doesn't actually save all that much time anymore. It's maybe like 5 seconds, maybe.
Yep.
So it's not a big deal.
The way that like we moved around through most of this level, but
come on, killer.
Now it saves a little bit of time in the third bottle, but that's about it.
Also, during that fight, he stood in a very particular spot because there's a bad mood in that kind of arena, or in the mother lobe, that will spawn exactly where he placed himself. But because he's already standing there, the bad mood just decides to go for a swim and spawns inside the water and just dies instantly, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yep, and then I jump in the water and pull the bigger enemies into it to kill them instantly.
Nice
There's just a wild amount of spitting and belching in this game. Like, I remember at this point when I got to Bob and I was like, really? Again? Like,
Yep.
it just never stops burping and you're like, why?
It is interesting that they ended up with that.
A lot of I was gonna say seltzers, like in this level, but you can't really see because we're in water immunity.
So fun fact, you can get to where the seed is out of bounds, but if you get to it without doing all the little parts of that level right there, it doesn't do anything. It just sends you back to the island without progressing anything. That happens a lot in this game. It's a little frustrating as a glitch hunter.
Oh yeah, the game's quest system is actually very solid. You kind of have to do everything. Like, it's very hard to skip large portions of a level at once, except for in the forward levels, because they're just very loose with their quest setup. But
what we're going through is the hardest part of the game, trying to collect all these figments.
Oh, it is very challenging. I definitely had to go back a second time.
I started doing the slide, and I was like, oh, I'm ready for this.
Yep. And this is why we actually set up water immunity, is that one jump right there.
A very linear path to get to the end.
Yep. It saves about 4 or 5 seconds versus doing it without water immunity, and that's the entire difference.
Yeah, and like a big part of having the immunity is, especially in this bottle, you have void immunity, and so this entire area here you can't fall off of, or else you just soft block yourself because of how high up this area is.
Yep.
If anybody wants cake now, you're welcome. What makes me want cake so bad?
I can find out what's causing it.
So many kinds of cake.
That was a good fight. Very clean.
Yeah, the Bad Moon was nice to you.
Wow.
Yep.
Remind me not to invite you to my wedding.
Bad moods are partly RNG, as far as I can tell. They seem to still be somewhat based on your position in terms of what attack they choose.
Look, I've already given
but you can still get bad RNG even if you're in the right position. So it seems to just be like weighted RNG. And that is the only use of a relatively new thing that we found that I'm called, what was it? Fast floats?
Fast floats, unless you want to call it something more fun. Floating. So if you hold Psyblast in the air and then you float, no, you can just If you do that, you'll save all your speed, and so you can end up floating much faster than you can normally. But you can't do it out of a normal jump. It has to be out of dive or like a levitation jump or other kinds of weird jumps. So
are you missing seeing teeth? Don't worry.
We got more.
Ah, shoot. That's not ideal, but not the end of the world. So this section only lets you kind of walk, you can't run. There is a hole in here that I can walk through. I don't remember where it is.
It's farther right.
Is it?
tried to pull them out.
Yeah, it's farther right.
But
Is this one?
oak has given me shade.
This one?
Shelter.
Where is it at?
Something to
There we go.
There it is.
There you go.
Ideally, I don't fall into the water there, but I made a mistake. So. I know some people actually quit the menu and then reload to get rid of their water immunity there, so that they can bounce out the water without the save in terms of time. Because bouncing off of the water is actually, like, gives you a little bit of speed and lets you take a straighter line. So then there's this boss fight. It's actually pretty quick when you are using the bombs. I know in my first casual playthrough, I did not throw any bombs at all. I did not realize that was a thing that you could do. I just shot the boss to death with Psyblast. And it took ages.
Somebody just told me about that the other night too. Yeah, I did the same thing. I just shot it with Psyblast, and someone was like, "Did you try throwing stuff?" And I was like, "No."
Yeah. During my casual, I was screen sharing to my girlfriend, and she was one that suggested to me to throw the bombs because I didn't even think about it. So it's amazing how, like, from a viewer's perspective, rather than the players, like, people thinking of different ways.
This is not a fantastic
It's different when you don't have to dodge the bombs.
Yeah.
You're just watching somebody else dodge the bombs, and you're like, "Hey, maybe throw those bombs."
And okay. That's fine.
Where did the doubts go?
Yeah, I don't. One of the doubts gone. There's supposed to be 2 there.
So nice here before you
So
I wonder
that
if you
was weird.
spawned them in the water.
Maybe.
That's
I
neat.
thought it had a fixed spawn, but
I thought so too. That's interesting.
Could have absolutely saved my hands too.
oh yeah.
If you're just doing side blasts, your hands are tired by the end of this fight.
Yep. The only side blasts I use are on the helmet plan at the start because it saves 1 throw.
So
Yeah, for those of you that are actually True Health or True Health Tia is just all their names combined. It's Truman, Helmut, and Tia. I don't know what a Monstro will be, but probably just a fancy flower.
Right, so that's the end of Bob's bottles. Now we've got kind of 2 more real levels left, and then also like a sort of mini level. So, okay, that was unfortunate.
Borrowing this drum real quick to fly with it.
I touched a tree and it made me drop. So that's a thing that can happen.
This flies a little finicky sometimes.
Yep.
We got through it.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you can hit there that lose you a little bit of time, or like drop you off of the object.
I'll let you get back to your
So here's the Green Needle Witch, aka Cassiopeia.
Another member of the Psychic Six.
Yep.
I love all of the concepts that they sort of bring to life physically in this game. This one is, of course, the Mind Swarm, right? The idea of a bunch of views.
Yeah.
And here's the enablers. The enablers are really annoying because they make other enemies invincible while they're out.
Yep. So we burn them so that they run around and don't dodge, and then I throw an object at them so they're stunned, and then I just beat them up.
Usually when an enabler is out, it's our first target. Like, that's
Yes.
the priority.
Kiss your mind's eye. Your archetype will. Oh, look at him go.
Right?
So cute.
We've got our last ability of the game now, Astral Projection. We try and use it as little as possible, basically, because it is very slow. Oh, and he spawned inside of a wall there. That's always fun.
You can actually skip this gate, but the platforming is a little bit.
Yeah, it's
sometimes
just
it doesn't like to work.
very precise jump, and I haven't done very much practice on it. So.
Works on IRL enablers too. Do not try this at home. No matter how much you want to set enablers on fire.
Do not burn enablers.
Do not burn enablers.
It could work, but do not do it.
We here at Midwest Minifest do not condone setting anyone on fire.
Sorry, but I just can't handle the energy right now.
You can also skip this gate, but it saves even less time and it's even harder.
Yep. Saves about 2 seconds and requires a very precise timing on a jump. And it's very likely to just miss it. So I don't do that one. And we don't want to fight any of those enemies. Those regrets have way more health than normal, and
they do lots more damage.
Yeah, lots of not fun. So we're just going to ignore all of those enemies. Alright, let's see if I can get this jump. It's kind of awkward. You need, like, absolute max height to be able to get that, which is a little bit awkward, because it requires delaying your movement a little bit.
I think I just jinxed it.
That was very fast speed that he got from that.
Yeah, if you roll into that slide and then jump from it, you get a lot of speed. Yes, I don't need those.
Who am I talking to?
So this is the waterfront. This is basically the end of the level. Top line kind of makes it look like a joke.
Yep. So we're gonna go into this puzzle section through the back.
Better take it. I think that's the best evidence.
Because it puts us right next to the piece of evidence we need.
And for some reason, let the back door open for us to just go through and get that evidence. It's like that's the only room that has a back door.
Yep. And then we just prop fly up to the next door, get the piece of evidence.
If you want to do on a casual playthrough, you don't even need to do any fancy techniques. You can just platform up there if you wanted to the back door.
And we actually quit to menu and reload the game here because it puts us outside of the door instead of in that book. So it lets us skip all of the movement to get back to the door. Oh, it's on top of an invisible wall there, and I didn't notice. Okay, and this is the last piece of evidence that we need.
I really want to know what it says on the bottom of the book.
I'm pretty sure it's just like lorem ipsum. Like a bunch of nonsense.
It says something about bees.
Yeah. So the fun thing about that quit to menu is instead of just putting it outside of that outside of the door, it just like drops us right to where we need to go to get to the last boss of this level. And
librarian.
Yep. We can do it very fast using the upgraded telekinesis. In fact,
very fast.
Go ahead.
This is very fast cooldown with telekinesis with this upgrade.
Yep. In fact, it's actually so fast that I have to be a little bit slow on this phase to make sure that the ruler actually drops. I think it should be okay here.
It should be. It's in the air right now.
Yep.
This ruler is supposed to drop on the first phase, but we're going to end up using it on the last phase.
Yeah. If you go too fast in that section, the ruler doesn't drop, and then you have to, like, do this entire section manually instead of just, like, one-shotting it with the ruler. And we're actually stuck waiting on the projection cooldown before we can continue. But that is the end of Cassie's level. Now we've got Lucretia's level here.
I'm ready.
And Lucretia's level is kind of interesting. So at the start, we've got some interesting platforming.
Oh man, this thing's big.
We're back in the circus.
Yep.
Family circus.
But it's the
we found out earlier is our Nona, is our grandma, but she's also the main the main bad guy. Well, bad guy. It's a little bit complicated, but she's the big scary lady we've been scared about the entire game. So we just pulled it for you. Great.
And that's why I beat it before doing this.
Didn't get the timing right on that slowdown, but
I feel like Double Fine knew exactly what they were doing by throwing in like a circus level here and there. They knew everybody who played the first game was going to be like, "Oh no."
Yeah, Meat Circus was definitely an experience in the first game.
It was literally the only time in my entire life I have ever thrown a controller.
What am I doing? What am I doing?
Yeah, it was
thrown
tough.
a controller once. It was the Meat Circus and first Psychonauts.
I didn't even beat the first Psychonauts when I was a kid. I got stuck in the Meat Circus too.
Yeah.
I had to beat the first Psychonauts before actually playing this one. So like I played for one entire day just before the game released.
By the way, Psychonauts 1, also a great game. If you haven't played it,
really
play
good
it.
Game. Such a good game.
Like, one of, if not my favorite game ever. is Psychonauts 1 load. It's so good.
I feel like they really lived up to, you know, I would say the hype of like their own game, but they managed to do the like, you know, lightning struck twice or whatever. They did a fantastic job with this game.
Definitely did. So that entire section of the fight, I was trying my best to like pull things into water to just one-shot them. It saves a little bit of time versus killing them manually. Oh hey, the judge fell.
That judge just fell off.
That does not happen often, so it's nice. That saves a decent chunk of time.
I don't like this place.
Oh,
That's stuck on a wall.
It's just,
Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. I'm just gonna beat it up.
yeah, if it gets put in a good spot, you can knock it off.
Oh my gosh. I am getting wrecked here. And I need to kill this thing before I do this. Ah, shoot. Alright.
unfortunate.
Yeah, that was much faster than it normally does, so I got stuck in a position where if I had tried to go for the bad mood, I would have gotten killed for it.
If I can find the cause of this bad mood, maybe I can get rid of it.
If I had a little bit more health, I could have done it, but
Great job, Raz. Now open that locket and we'll use the astrolabe.
at least I didn't get punished too bad for it. The bad mood passed it again relatively quickly. That can sometimes take as much as like 25, 35 seconds of just sitting there doing nothing.
Okay, so we tried to stop Maligula, and we got pulled out very suddenly. And so I just spoiled you a moment ago, but you're about to get spoiled again.
Yep. We
We're
got
about
pulled
to go
out
into the last
by
mine.
Truman Sonato, who is Lily's dad.
Or is it?
Lily's dad? Question mark?
Why does Lily's dad have a gold bust of Nick John Smith? Very strange.
Hi. Can we get a...
Turns out we're actually in the mind of Nick John Smith.
Or his real name is Bristol Malik.
And this
Or his
is
real
where,
name is Elijah Wood.
Exactly. Yep. This is where I would love to do a sing-along and send jokes, but on Discord.
I was gonna
doesn't
say,
really work.
this is unskippable.
Yep.
Yes.
So we get to ride an egg for a while.
While this beautiful music is playing, maybe I could talk about the charity just a little bit.
Absolutely, go for it. You have a
All
while.
right. Y'all, Children's Cancer Research Fund supports the brightest scientists whose ideas make the greatest impact for children with cancer. They work closely with researchers to fund innovative new projects quickly, so their promising new discoveries can continue uninterrupted. Their researchers share their findings with more than 9,000 experts around the globe, collaborating with others to accelerate discoveries. Because childhood cancer affects the whole family and community, they also fund quality of life services that enhance healing and care. Learn more at childrenscancer.org. And I know we're all having a fantastic time watching this amazing speedrun, Psychonauts 2, but please do remember that we are here raising funds for the Children's Cancer Research Fund. So if you are able to donate, please consider doing so. And you can get that link by hitting !donate in the chat. Are we still on the ride? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
We're still on.
And while we're doing shoutouts, if anyone is interested in this game, Psychonauts 2 is a really, really cool speedrun. I would definitely recommend anyone to try it out. It's not too hard to pick up. And we have a Discord that's linked on our speedrun.com page where people would be very willing to help you out to pick the game up.
Just when I thought I'd heard every version of this...
Yeah, I know some of these tricks look pretty technical, but it actually doesn't take too long to pick up. There isn't a whole lot of very difficult tricks on the run right now, so
yeah,
it's the perfect time to pick it up.
I mean, who does not want to catapult themselves across the entire game on Noodle Pillow? Come on.
Exactly. We need the noodle pillow.
I know y'all excited about that shield launch, but Noodle Pillow is where it's at.
Look at this. We just needed the screen. That cutscene's skippable, but that scream is just
It's such a good
You have to
stream.
listen to it.
Alright, ride's finally stopping. Oh my gosh.
Oh, we got gameplay? Okay. So there's some platforming here. And we're done.
Having played this casually like the day before yesterday, I'm just like, oh, you. Oh.
And normally we're supposed to go all the way around this town of Grulovia replica to get up to the top scaffoldings, but thankfully we have side hops or even lev hops to jump that gap to get to the final lever.
We'll just say mad hops.
Exactly.
We need mad hops.
This fight has 3 phases. Each is more difficult than the last. Each is longer than the last too. So, Casey usually, as you can see, hangs out in this like center area. You want the enemies to try and spawn. You want to be able to like. It's very easy in this big arena for the enemies, especially those little sensors, to end up in all the little corners and take a really long time to get to you. So it's the best idea to be in the middle, where all the enemies can get to you really quickly.
And because he has 5 brains, take a little bit more damage than usual. But it is rough to die in this fight because you have to start from the very first phase all over again. But so far doing a great job in managing health and enemies.
Alright, and fun story point, Lily is hitting buttons to release these enemies, just like random buttons.
Yeah. She's a great help.
She's like, maybe this one, and you're like, ah!
Oh.
All good. And I do intentionally put off killing that judge just because all the other enemies are just so much more threatening than the judge. Like, the judge on its own is very, very easy to deal with, but like, the doubts and the sensors, they overwhelm you very, very quickly. And the little
Doubts
sensors
can definitely
especially...
be very overwhelming.
Yep. Yeah. The little sensors especially are extremely dangerous. Like, they don't look like it. Those little sensors do like more than a brain's worth of damage with each hit. Like, they will kill you so fast. So you have to be very careful about like managing especially the little sensors so they don't get grouped up on you.
The song gets a little macabre at this point.
Yep.
Yeah. But now we get more lore.
Exactly.
Yeah. If this is all you know about the game story, then
everyone needs to feel bad for Crystal Malik. He got kicked out of his home country and then had to live all around the world. Whether it's the Arctic tundra, the desert, or even the endless ocean. And they don't even serve very much caviar. It's not as good.
he had a cotton candy machine in his room, and they took that away from him.
Absolutely tragic life.
It took me a while to figure out. I mean, like in the dialogue, eventually they do mention the caviar, but you just see pictures and you're like, what is that, fish snack? Get like a can and then there's like a picture of a fish on it. He's constantly eating something out of it.
Yep.
Fishy snacks. I mean, if he's eating dried cuttlefish, then I could get behind that. It's pretty great.
It's my fake grandma!
No one heard from her. Surely Ford Crawler and his psycho spies must have her captive. Crystal Malik bravely decided then and
We
there
got
to find her, to undo
some fun platforming and a cool trip coming up, so.
Maliks and all of Grulovia to power.
Unfortunately, we do have to wait like a minute and a half on that ride before we can get to it.
Yeah,
we have to play the game a little bit.
Yeah. I think I want
Some some professional menuing here.
Okay, that's enough.
This is unfortunately slower on newer patches.
I'm so grateful they put the ability to skip the dialogue in that section.
Oh, that's actually really good.
I know where I am.
Prop management there. I did not think of jumping on top of the cactus like that.
My father died today.
Yeah, that's
Oops. Alright.
Oh. Yeah, that's fine.
About that, excuse
You
me.
can just
Oh my god.
hear more haze.
Hey.
Hey.
About
Hey.
that hens.
There we go.
Since you put... Ooh, this one is pretty.
Alright.
This is what speedballing's all about.
Yep. This is actually where speedballing was originally found, was on the egg. Someone was just bored and like started holding the Fly Blast button on the egg and found out it went way faster. Nice, I made that cycle.
Hey, I wonder if I hold Psyblast here, what'll happen?
Alright.
And this...
Oh my god.
Oh,
So close.
I thought you did that on purpose because, like, when I was writing this, somebody was just like, "Oh, that's some speed tech right there," and I'm like, "I'm waiting for it."
Yep. So close.
So this one...
a little bit easier when the egg is facing this direction, usually. But, yeah, this is just... not a great launch, but...
work.
So, the premise of this skip that we were doing is that it's called Hole-in-One, which that fan would take you and the egg all the way to the end cutscene here, or at least to the end platform. But you know, we'll take an over par, if anything.
Yeah, that was
and that
a little sloppy. Though.
That egg room, this egg room is actually. It doesn't seem like it. You couldn't tell from the outside, but it's actually in a completely different part of the map, and there's a portal which takes you between them. And that portal is kind of broken, so sometimes you'll just roll through that doorway there, and you'll just fall out of the world.
Yep, that doorway is one of the scariest parts of the entire run. I've lost a few world record paced runs just going through that doorway and then getting teleported underneath the room and not being able to get out. Because if you do that, you have to then do the entire egg section again.
It's a very unfortunate portal. Yep. Going too fast is a curse.
Yep, but we get to listen to Elijah Wood singing, so it's all good.
You've really peaked at voice acting when you can sing badly on purpose. He sings so bad, so good.
It's a small. It's more like it's a small.
And there's the Dogen pigment. And the body pigment.
The belly of the beast itself, infiltrating the Psychonauts in their filthy lair.
Small nationalistic propaganda world.
There it is.
I mean, Grulovia is the greatest country on earth, so...
That's the best fish snacks.
Into their organization.
Coming up is also a pretty hard fight to go through.
Yep, that's why I stopped in the egg room and got a little bit of health there. Because trying to do this next fight without max health is very, very dangerous. You have limited healing in the room, and I'm going to be taking some damage on purpose, and there's a lot of damage that's just very hard to avoid.
Some of their most trusted agents were mere children, easily controlled
And
by puppet
who thought the final part of the game would be the hardest?
Yep. Yeah, this...
You're just sitting on an egg.
This final fight is the only fight in the game that we do that is 2 panic attacks.
Yeah, this fight sucks.
And like the double panic attack fights in the game in general are probably the hardest fights. Oh my gosh, and it teleported away.
Oh, you already teleported.
Yep.
If you can get the quick kills.
I missed with my time bubble.
If you can get the quick kills immediately, this fight really isn't that bad, but if you end up missing one of them, then it's just so hard to manage full panic attacks and get them where you need them to be. Plus you have these doubts pestering you the entire time.
Okay, there's one dead, so that's hard at least. And I need some healing. Okay. Nope, didn't want to.
And sometimes they just do this, where they just teleport and do nothing.
Yep, okay. There we go.
Very good, anyway.
At least they were covered.
And now we just have these two, which are pretty easy to deal with.
Yeah, that huge sensor can be a little scary if you're low on health, but if you're healthy going into it, it's not particularly risky.
I just want to find that cart and get back on the riding.
Now, this is part of the game where you kind of figure out that Lobato was hired.
And we ride up that pole. We get to abuse some very awkward gravity.
If you get out of bounds at the beginning of the game, like we did in that in the Asylum Tower, you can find Crystal Malik and Lobato just chilling behind the curtain.
That's
Really?
speedrun spoilers.
Yeah.
The very start of the game where you just see Crystal with Lobato. And we're trying to find out who the boss is.
Yep.
Yeah. And you kind of have to break the game to do that, though, so...
And coming up on the end of the level here. And then got one more just a little bit after this level. This is the last like main level, and then we got a small section afterwards. The last few minutes of the run.
Grulovia was never... I've had enough of this.
So oops. Right. I have to be careful on that dialogue to not choose an option too soon. Because if you choose an option before the entire dialogue window pops up, it makes it so you aren't able to skip the dialogue for some reason.
Again, being too fast it's just a curse. You can't be too fast in this game.
Doing that? Of course she's doing that.
Very sloppy movement.
That's not natural.
Alright. Made the cycle. So we jump into Tornado and it teleports us to the end.
Yeah, it skips I think it's an unskippable cutscene.
Yep,
right?
like a 6 or 7 second unskippable cutscene.
Yeah.
I still have
but we don't need to buy anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives us an autosave in that particular spot.
Right.
And that advances us to wherever is on the other side, I guess. Oh, this is one of the
Here's a scene I was hoping
let hops.
See again.
Yeah.
Very important.
This saves like 10 seconds or something, less than that.
Oops,
just
I did not mean to pop that. Oops.
Saves walking around and looking at, walking through a few cinematic scenes.
I'm not a...
And this is the final boss of the game, Maligula, as a water tornado.
So I'm just gonna shoot her a lot in this phase, and then dodge snakes.
Maligula is actually kind of scary. Every single attack of hers can deal a full, you see, 4 bars, so an entire mine's worth of damage to you. So you can only get hit like 5 times in this fight if you have 5 hearts or 5 springs.
Yeah, this fight is very spooky. But it's generally very reliable if you do it correctly. Like there's not much RNG. This tornado section is entirely scripted, and then this section we kind of just stun lock her. So she never gets to do any of the RNG attacks.
But she's supposed to be smaller. Stay down in the primitive brain until
If you don't stun lock her, that phase gets very scary and takes a much longer.
Yeah.
Because each one of her attacks does a full heart of damage, and she can kind of lock you into a corner and just, like, pull you from full. And her attacks are all, like, very, very large and hard to avoid.
And we also shoot her in this phase when she's a water tornado, because it definitely does impact those fighting phases.
Yep.
A lot more.
Each of those fighting phases, you have a fixed amount, like, HP that you have to get her to. So any damage that you can do while she's a tornado carries over to that and makes that fighting phase faster.
Yeah. But you can't shoot her, like, all the time, because, yeah, it is fixed. So she gets invincible for quite a bit until the next fighting phase. That's the last fighting phase.
This has been a pretty good Maligula, like, in terms of just the fight. It was unfortunate that I messed up on the part before the fight, but we got a little bit left to go. Just gonna try and drop her health as much as I can before this final section.
And here's Morris to save the day. Yep. And we've got, just like the end of Psychonauts 1, we've got a large kaiju battle.
And the reason that I damage her in that last section, because it's entirely timed when you get to this kaiju battle, but it's my theory that her health at the end of that section actually affects her behavior in this section. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Time's coming up.
Time.
Here.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure that the health does affect it, but that's just the experience that I've had. But either way, that is Psychonauts 2.
GG.
So, what was the time on that?
Yeah, that's fine.
1:40:57.
Okay.
I think they stopped the timer a little bit soon, but
that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think the world record in terms of RTA is a 1:32:40 something. So with a few mistakes and then also watching that like minute and a half cutscene, that's not too bad.
I'm a part of her! Big deal. Everybody's got something like you.
I guess,
just know how to keep it with
y'all have any shoutouts?
Definitely follow It's Bites. He streams much more than me, and he right now he's been playing It Takes Two. He does speedruns with It Takes Two, so go follow him. He's a great streamer.
Wow. I'm doing all my prep for next upcoming marathons coming very soon. So I'll be definitely doing that. But shoutouts to the entire Psychonauts 2 community for coming up with this amazing route that we have with prop flying and all this platforming we do. If you want to check that out, you can go to our speedrun.com page and join the Discord, of course.
Yeah, I would love to see more people running the game.
It would make my heart very happy.
Especially 100%. We need more people running 100%. And I'm not the person to do it. So.
I would definitely love to see 100% speedrun of this game. Put me to absolute shame, please. Let me see.
I think,
somebody collect all these things that took me forever to get.
I think the world record for 100% right now is about 3.5 hours.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
It's nutty.
Yeah, that is wild to me.
And it can go much lower. It's definitely not fully optimized right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank y'all so much. That was so much fun to watch. And don't y'all go anywhere. Thanks to your generosity, we have unlocked the bonus game, the last run of this event, Midwest Minifest. We are gonna be watching Conception run Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Stay tuned.
Rudolph.
Rudolph.